What's up guys, Patrick here from Windows Review with an iPad 3 versus iPad 4 comparison video. Looking at the physical appearance of both devices, the only change made in the iPad 4 is the Lightning connector. For our first test, we will use Geekbench to measure the CPU performance on both iPads. On the left is the iPad 3, and on the right in the red smart case is the iPad 4. The iPad 4 finishes first with a score of 1787, followed by the iPad 3 with a significantly less score of 759. Right now, this is holding up to Apple's claims of more than twice the speed. Moving on, we will now test the launch times of some apps. First up is Angry Birds Space. As you can see, the iPad 4 has about a 1 to 2 second faster loading time than the iPad 3. Next up is iBooks. As you can see, the iPad 4 yet again launched iBooks about 3 seconds faster than the iPad 3. Next up is Engadget. Yet again, the iPad 4 has launched 2 seconds faster. Next up, Infinity Blade by Epic Games. The iPad 4 has not even finished loading its title scenes, and it's ready to play by displaying the play button. So, yet again, it beats the iPad 3 by about 4 seconds. Next up is Plants vs. Zombies by PopCap. And the iPad 4 is done, still waiting on the 3. And the 3 is done, about 5 seconds slower. Next up is one of my favorite note-taking apps, Notability. The iPad 4 is done, and 3 seconds later the iPad 3 is done. Now we will launch the Videos app and play a movie that has been saved on both devices. As you can see, the video starts playing about a half a second later on the iPad 3. Next up is the Weather channel. iPad 4 is done. And about 2 to 3 seconds later, the app is fully loaded on the iPad 3. Next up is Tweetbot. It's finished on the 4, and 2 seconds later on the 3. Next is iMovie. The 4 is finished, followed by the 3 1 second later. Next we will test the Safari web browsing performance on both devices. I am clearing the history, cookies, and data on both. First up is Engadget. The iPad 4 finishes by about a second. Next up is Apple. Yet again, the iPad 4 wins by about a second. This just about concludes our video. As you can see, the iPad 4 is not much faster than the iPad 3. Accomplishing the same task is only about 3 seconds faster. If you have an iPad 3, there is no reason to upgrade to the 4. However, if you do have the original iPad or the iPad 2, the 4 is a huge upgrade to you, and I would highly suggest you purchase it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you.